Hello, AI enthusiasts. In today's section, we'll be looking at how employees or the workforce can get themselves ready, prepared, and adapt to the AI era. And this is in relation to applying artificial intelligence to improve their output, their deliverables, and their productivity. We've previously looked at that of the organization. If you haven't watched the video, please go to the channel to do that. And for everything that might be sounding like jargons or still remain complex, please reach out personally via DM so that we can look at ways to simplify it. The whole goal here is to educate and ensure that you are well carried along. So what are the steps you need to take as an employee or as part of the workforce to get yourself ready, acquainted and adapted to this emerging era? Number one is learn machine English. From an end user perspective, the consumer of the current AI tools we have available at our disposals, there are adequate ways we can communicate with them to get the desired output. Now, if you don't go through these rudiments of understanding how to communicate with them, there will be a disparity or you getting vague response. Of course, you know that miscommunication would lead to wrong output, even in our normal day-to-day living. Same with the systems that we'll be operating with. Now, the machine English in quotes is termed as prompting. So the first thing you need to get a better hang on is to be a prompt engineer, or I would say learn how to prompt. So if this sounds like jargon to you, you can reach out via DM so that we can deep dive on the kind of prompting depending on your industry, your line of work. But that's the first thing you need to understand. Number two, there are a lot of tools out there. I mean, you have ChatGPT, you have Perplexity, you have Midjourney. You're asking yourself, which of these do I use? Which is applicable to me? Of course, it's understandable that there might be a lot and they keep getting churned out almost every single day. Stick to and go deep so that you don't confuse yourself. You don't get mixed up with everything happening at the same time. Just pick one and go deep. Learn the modalities, learn the nitty-gritty, learn how it works. With a better understanding of one of these tools, you can now use the understanding across board. Number three, when you've picked one, then you need to give it good context. Now, you understand prompting, and now you've picked one tool. You now want to feed it your information to give you a response. You need to build context around it. You don't just say, here's my CV, modify it to adjust to this job role. First, tell it that you want it to act. So, like A, be an actor. Act like as the best elite recruiter in the world. Now, review my CV, which is currently modified for the role of secretary, receptionist, and revamp it, make it more articulated to match this job role for this organization. With such context, it is able to generate a better output compared to somebody that just says, here is my CV, modify it to meet this job role. Number four, debug your thinking. Now, whatever you are going to give to the system, you need to understand that it is still at its baby stage. AI is still at its baby stage. It's still learning a lot about how humans think and operate. So you are guiding it in the way it should think. Before you prompt it, ensure that you are able to also run with that kind of ideology. So if you were the machine and you are fed that information, will you be able to give the best kind of output? Now, when you understand and you think in that line, you've reviewed your own thought process and it makes sense to you and say, so it's like trying to give instruction to a child. You say, go and find me my watch. The child will be confused. Do I go to the room? Do I go to the kitchen? Do I go to the bedroom? Do I go to the car? Do I go to the office? Where am I going to find your watch? And what kind of watch? Is it a blue watch? Is it a red watch? Is it a yellow watch? What brand of watch? Now, if you think in that line, I say, oh, to better send this child on an errand, I need to tell, I'm looking for my blue watch of this brand, go to this location and need on top of this exact space. You are assured that you will get a better feedback response when you are able to think in that line. So debug your thinking before you impute it into the system so that you don't get frustrated. That is a key step you need to get hands on. Else you will say AI is just porous, AI is not smart, and that's because even you yourself, you've not applied the right steps on how to use AI. Number five would be to direct AI as an expert. So you need to tell it how far it should go in its research, in its thinking. So this is a tool that is available to you. How much do you want to push it? So if, for instance, you are looking for some medical feedback, Tell the system to act like a renowned medical doctor that you know. Tell it to act like the best medical expert in the world. Maybe whatever field of medicine you want it to focus on, depending on the information you want, ask it to act in that way. For instance, you want a research done by Harvard, or you want to go into a research, you want to do a master's research or a doctorate research, and then you want it to give you a project topic or dive into a topic that you've already come up with. You can tell it to act as a Harvard researcher. In that way, it goes through how Harvard researchers actually think, and then use that kind of approach to respond to you. Then you get a holistic, well-articulated, comprehensive, and well-outlined output. Next would be to verify whatever output that you get. Don't be a dummy because of AI. Your excuses would not be acceptable to say it's because this is what AI generated to me. I was reading in the news of recent where I think maybe in the Philippines on Colombia newspaper, the editors did not even review what AI gave to them, and they pasted everything verbatim on the newspaper, and it was captured. Now with that, you would not tend to trust such a brand going forward, because they've transferred their ingenuity and their thought process and left it for AI to do. No, that's not what AI is supposed to do. It's supposed to enhance our productivity. It's supposed to be a tool, an assistant. You're not leaving the whole job to it. So once you get your output, regardless of how robust it is, regardless of how long it is, go through it in details, especially when it has to do with data and analytics. So if you're in the finance field, if you are whatever field you are, and you're having to do with figures, it's essential that you verify it. So apart from telling the system, sometimes you could tell the system to review its output and say, be sure that what you're generating is correct. For instance, you tell it to multiply 2 by 2 and it gives you the answer. Tell it to verify that this answer is correct. It will go through that process granularly and then give you the result. Then you still have to do due diligence. That is where the human center in AI comes into play. Now, last but not the least is to tune. That is why you need to pick one at this initial point, is to tune this AI to understand how you think, how you speak, how you react, so that for whatever purpose you'll be using it going forward, it's able to give you output that looks just like you. Again, it's going to be your assistant. Just like in our day-to-day, we want somebody that understands us, that is able to, and all that when you are inputting new requests. So you begin to tell it towards speaking like you, understanding you, and giving outputs that you ordinarily would have given. So if, for instance, you say in your daily life, you usually say good morning, or you say good morning sir, good morning ma, you never say good morning, and AI suddenly is trying to give you an output and is saying good morning, you can input and say no, always add or ma, and then it understands that, okay, for this my user, the kind of output I should generate should be tailored in this matter. Again, if any part of what I've said still remains complex, I would like you to reach out. And if at this stage you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. In every other of my platform, I'll be sharing more of the tips on AI. Thank you.